Wait, are you delegating enough? Is time limiting you? Do you know that there are entities that we can define in delegation? Most solopreneurs don't know it, don't understand this concept. No one is teaching it in this way because no one is focused on solopreneurs, self-employed people, or small business owner. And so we created this video exactly for this. In the end of the video, we will show you how to implement it. And in the middle of the video, we will show you the full teaching training to understand this concept. And this concept has amazing benefits like quickly free working time for you so that you are able to focus on high paying activities and focus on growth, profit, whatever you need. This is the simple step to understand the possible delegation entities. You can implement it tomorrow and in the next week be able to delegate as much as 10%, 20% of your working time. It's mind blowing why you're not doing it already. If you don't do it, probably you're not so successful as you could. And the results you can get from understanding this concept and implementing it is to know how to delegate, how to delegate in the right way, not wasting money, and how to quickly free your working time in days, not months, not years. I'm sure there are probably some activities that you are doing that you could delegate, but you're not aware you can delegate them. And we will show you how you can delegate those activities. If you don't know who I am, I'm PIETRO Mappers. And in this channel, we teach solopreneurs, self-employed people, and small business owners to better manage their business so that they can make it passive, delegate work, free their working time, and focus on making more profit, innovating their business, growing their business, or simply enjoying more their free time, still making money with their business. And please subscribe on this YouTube channel. It's very important for us. It motivates us to keep making videos. Otherwise, we wouldn't publish these long videos with a lot of content. And please watch the playlist. It's a collection of actionable delegation tool and tips that you can implement in your business right now, that you can use to get results in 1 week, few days, few hours maybe. Please watch it. It's free. And if you really want to know more about the full framework, stay till the middle, and at the end of the video we'll show you how can you get the free resources worth so much money to implement delegation in your business right now. So we get right into the slides. People are confused about delegation. One of the reasons, there are a lot of reasons, one of the reasons is not having a clear definition of the types of delegation possible. You can call them types, level, entities to whom delegate. There is multiple cases and each situation needs a different approach for delegation. And that's the reason sometimes of the confusion. That's the reason why there is so many videos around. But the problem is around in YouTube, so many information online. But the problem is hard to understand exactly when to go for a specific approach instead of another, because as explained also in the other video of the delegation playlist, sometimes there is a different approach for small businesses, different approach for big companies, big corporation, different approach for growing businesses, startups, companies that need to be optimized. There is a different approach for a company from 0 to 8, 8 to 15, 15 to 50 people, 50 to 100 people, right? Yeah, so every situation needs a different approach. In this video, in these slides, basically we will clarify these, the types of delegation to the 7 entities that we defined. The 7 entities is a definition that we created to clarify this topic, because so many times people are not sure how to delegate, and this approach we have seen is helping a lot to clarify your option when you delegate and have a nice overview of the possible ways, the possible people you can delegate to, so that you can either hire the right people for your process, create the process accordingly to the people and the situation, or based on the people and the situation that you have in your company, create a process that is delegated in the right way. And the goal of everything is always delegate efficiently, because you can delegate to different entities, and maybe you will be able to delegate anyway, but maybe it will not be efficient and long-term profitable. Every entity requires a different way to delegate. Otherwise, delegation gets inefficient and expensive. Here we define the 7 entities. There is also a 8th entities that is a bonus that you will see at the end. The first entity is to yourself. We'll explain it later because it's a bit tricky. Something that no one is talking about is an interesting point of view. The second one, I call it 0 to yourself. 1, VA delegation. 2, specialist delegation. 3, self-managing specialist. 4, fully delegated to a manager. 5, outsourced to a company, agency, person of team, more independent from us. And then the 6 is the partnership. And then there is a 7th that we defined for this video that is a bonus. You will see at the end. 0 to yourself. Basically, to delegate to yourself, the first thing that you need to do is divide yourself into people. Basically, in your mind, divide yourself into roles. The worker and the manager. The worker that is also a specialist, or you could also divide yourself in 3 roles if you want to see in that way, like the VA, the specialist, and the owner manager. Dividing yourself in 3 ways in your mind will help you to define processes that in the future you can delegate to these 3 entities. So delegating to yourself is basically setting up processes that are efficient, are ready, prepared, and created so that you can delegate right away. This is where to start. It's teaching yourself how to delegate efficiently later. And delegating to yourself, you divide your roles. As you can read here, I mention manager, maybe it's written, is spelled incorrectly. Anyway, assistant, specialist, and others. Because you really can delegate yourself dividing in multiple entities. You can also call yourself like Pietro the manager, Pietro the specialist, Pietro the VA, Pietro, my name is Pietro Mappers, so Pietro the supervisor, Pietro the outsourcing partner, based on the entities. The focus here is creating maps, assets. Maybe we'll talk about that in other videos, or we implement this in our framework when we work with students. Assets are like templates, automated sheets, docs, PDFs, training resources, like your library of resources for a specific process. You can also start to implement softwares, create process libraries, document yourself. Basically, you are creating an efficient process as if you should already be delegating to another entity, but you don't focus on delegating it yet. You just focus on creating everything perfectly efficient, like the perfect machine, for then delegate later. There is more information about this in the full framework. You can see the links below. If you want, you can opt in the full training video, but for now, what you need to understand is this. If you want to go further in it, check it below. Is a down case by case scenario. So if you want to implement, of course, every situation is different, but this is the basic. And I want to make it very clear: is a passage. It's not the end goal. Delegate yourself. It's never the end goal. Don't get stuck here. Too many people get stuck here. They became either efficient or maybe not even efficient, then they don't even delegate to themselves. Uh, that is even worse, but either way is not good. That is the difference between entrepreneur and self-employed person. Like entrepreneur is building the machine and delegating and making sure the people are working in the machine correctly. The self-employed person sometimes gets stuck in the machine working, and that's not good for growth scale. It's not real entrepreneurship, right? VA delegation. VA delegation. Um, okay. VA delegation is the beginner delegation. Is fast, cheap, and suggested for beginners. You learn a lot by delegating into VAs because you learn to make it as simple and basic and efficient and safe and cheap as possible. It is good for to learn to delegate. It's not the end goal neither. Is the end goal only when there is a very low value activities, there is evergreen activities, and not flexible activities, repetitive tasks. But otherwise, VA delegation sooner or later. I mean, it's not the end goal for every process. That's the point. It's possible to skip. Yeah, sometimes it's possible to skip. Depends of your ability and your skills in delegation. Is the VA delegation is the easiest one to start, but sometimes for most of the processes you cannot delegate big in this way. In fact, if you look at all the big companies, is um, is not so common to have VAs workers. By VA workers, I mean workers that are not flexible and do only repetitive tasks. Maybe sometime in some processes, like in factories, there are some repetitive tasks, of course, but the company most profitable usually have a lot of high added value activities, and you cannot do those activities with a VA. Okay, so you can skip it and delegate to entity 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the last one. Actually, if I have to be honest, on time you can go directly to 7, the bonus entity that we explain at the end of the video. Sometimes VA tasks can be delegated to the seventh entity. Okay, to delegate in general, you need a process map, a video SOP tutorial, and if there is a VA involved, but even if there is not a VA involved, even if it's a specialist, sometimes what we do is create a video tutorial and then let them write their bullet point SOP in bullet point or text, or maybe also map themselves the process. This depends on the skills. The more a worker is skilled and experienced in the topic and specialized in the topic, the more you can create a more basic summary tutorial, video SOP explanation, and the more you can make them do the documentation, let's say, so writing the SOP, writing the bullet point SOP, the text SOP, creating the map, even if they are specialized with self-management skills. As usual, create a job package. This is standard for every worker. Is explained in our framework, so I cannot go too much into it. A job package is basically a collection of assets that make delegation super efficient and effective. and make your life so easy and delegation so much profitable long term. Is the right way to do it. You needed to guide them and make them make take time onboarding. So the more is a worker is unskilled, the cheaper will be long term if the process is not updating or changing. But the more the onboarding probably will be expensive. Expensive with the money or expensive with your time. Because if you're a small business owner, a solopreneur, you are doing the onboarding probably. So you are wasting your time, right? So you need to select the right process for this for VA delegation entity. Otherwise, sometimes it's smarter to do delegations to other entities, as we show later. VA's delegation is better for simple, recurring, not specialized, not evolving processes, not flexible processes. So, I mean, you need some experience to instantly understand what process that is to be delegated in this way. I cannot go too much into details, but it is the situation where you can delegate to VAs. Yeah, you want to delegate a low cost long term, either long term evergreen processes or not evolving processes. Specialist delegation. When to do? The process has more flexibility. There is more decision power. It's too long to teach everything. Maybe you need 1, 2, 3 years of experience doing a specific job because you don't have time to teach 1, 2, 3 years of everything, right? The process is less evergreen, more flexible and evolving. So basically what you are buying is for double the price of a VA, you delegate to a specialist, a generalist specialist, let's say, but you don't need to onboard for 6 months for a process that is evolving or flexible, right? Otherwise, every 6 months you need to re-onboard, reteach, retrain. It is nonsense. So you pay double and you get the experience. That's the right way sometimes. Yeah. You want to do less supervision compared to a VA. With a specialist is less supervision. If he's a really good specialist and specialist with self-management skills, you can also like supervise only the input and output, for example, and have like some checkpoints or like some control points. Yeah. Benefits: more flexible, faster to implement, shorter onboarding, safer, can delegate with less training, tutorial, less detailed SOPs. Cons: more expensive long term, if they evergreen, not evolving process. I'm telling you so many things here, but the point is you need to implement this kind of delegation somehow. So try to watch this video, maybe rewatch it 5, 6, 7 times so that you are aware of everything you need to know, and then try to implement it. And of course, if you don't want to make mistake and not waste money, especially if it's a really expensive process and there is a lot of opportunity that you need to take right away. If you don't want to waste money, of course, I'm board in a full training below, and at the end you can work with us, right? But otherwise, you can practice by yourself by trial and error. It will take probably 10 times the time, 10 times the investment of your time and maybe of wasted money in delegation, but you can do it in that way too, right? So make your decision. Just please delegate. Sorry. Is more expensive long term if it's an evergreen, not evolving process. Yeah, that's another point. Keep in mind, if it's an evergreen, not evolving process, maybe it's worth to delegate to a VA or someone cheaper, right? But going to an entity doesn't mean that you get stuck always in that entity. Maybe you can move, go to entity two, and then go back to entity one, or maybe then move to entity four, right? Mm. Just don't get stuck. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, right? Um, yeah. Uh, Self-management specialist equals specialist delegation, but with more self-management skills. And usually the two skills that a self-managing specialist has are project management and operations management. But be careful, I'm not meaning the standard project management and ops management skills that you learn in courses around that you implement for big companies. I mean, having some basic skills of project management, of self-management, productivity management, prioritization, keeping track, mapping things. These two skills in small, specific for small business management. And usually these skills can be learned, of course, with courses, but usually are when it is a specialist has more experience. So it's not like 2 or 3 years of experience, but maybe 5 years of experience, right? It comes with time. Of course, maybe someone is doing courses, of course, but is I want project management, operations management to specific to solopreneurs, small business owners, and self-employed person, small companies under 10 or 20 people, right? Benefits, flexibility, less supervision, who delegates needed to get less, is safer, even safer, faster automated evolution. Yeah, because when you delegate in this way, sometimes if there is a problem, it gets solved by the self-management specialist. Is amazing. Is expensive but amazing. Uh, yeah, have automated evolution. So sometimes they evolve the process because they have the authority and the skill to evolve, right? With the market, evolve with what's happening in their industry. Cons is higher cost per hour. Yeah, is more expensive, less control on the exact process. You control, or usually in this way, you control by input and output, and harder to hire the right person. If you hire the wrong person, you fuck up big. But it's harder to hire the right person. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, you can get help from us if you want to hire the right person. They get create the right process, but just know that in this way it might be harder, more risky. How to manage? They probably need to. They need. I think I forgot to inside there. Document, map, and create SOPs. Okay, maybe I mean that they can create by themselves. Yeah, of course, you can provide them everything that you want, but they will have the power and the skills to manage the process by themselves. You can manage more the macro picture. That's that's how you manage with less control of the details. More by input and output, more by final deadline. So maybe you can give a deadline, like give this work in 1 week. More responsibility in delegation, and this, when you manage these kind of people, is more like the standard management approach. Mm, yeah. Fully delegated to a manager. Simple, giving an input and require an output. Yeah, it's simple when you do it. It's more expensive and harder to hire this way. Uh, when you're a small company, maybe it will be this will be a situation when you either grow so fast, you have a lot of budget, or you are bigger, like over five, maybe even over 10 people. Then you are a manager to do these. This delegation will give you the desired results. More expensive, you can delegate the entire role, department position. In 3 or 4, they probably will delegate to others too. Yeah, that's another point. Um, when we're talking about entity 3 and 4, if they're good, since they have project management and operations management skills, they can also start to delegate, hire people so that they can focus on the most important tasks and decrease the overall cost of all the project or of all the operation. But that's another topic. Don't go too much into detail. Okay, stay with me because I will tell you also the bonus delegation entity at the end. Stay with me. I mean, all the video is important and amazing. But there is also this bonus. I mean, we written all the entities and then we decided to create also other entities at the end, entity at the end. This bonus, let's say, because is something that I want you to focus on, especially right now that there is artificial intelligence and machine learning getting into the picture, right? Outsourced. This is very interesting. Outsourced to a company, agency, person, a team of more independent people from us. Okay, some people think outsourcing is bad and super expensive. Hiring an agency. Depends on the situation. Sometimes it's cheaper. Outsourcing is basically delegating out, not in house, but still delegating. So it's still delegating, but we call it outsourcing because it's out of our company, right? It's cheaper short term if the process is, all in this situation, is evolving often and require a lot of skills, experience, innovation at scale. Because basically, who we are outsourcing, if they are like a big agency, they have the resources to do R&D, innovation, process improvement, are the top experts at scale, so with more achievable costs. Maybe they have like a competitive advantage in their company, so they can do something that you cannot do. And if the process is evolving so fast, maybe could be a good way to do outsourcing. Yeah, an example is advertising agencies have been hired from big companies for a lot of years, right? If you've seen the TV series like Mad Men, yeah, you can see like big companies are agencies to do advertising. Why? Because advertising is extremely creative, is hard to hire correctly, is extremely risky if you do it wrong because you can mess up your company. You invest so much money in it. Is a very surgical role and the scale is innovating fast. There is a lot of research and development, and there is a lot of skills, experience, innovation, and scale required. I mean, I don't know too much. I don't want to go too much into detail, but that's an example, right? Partnership, maybe there is might come over the blue text. Is less relevant to, I'm reading the blue one, less relevant to small business owners or solopreneurs. Why is this? Because small business owners usually they don't do big important partnerships, right? So often they maybe do more like outsourcing or delegation in-house, right? But I'm writing it here for having a full picture. Usually partnership are a joint venture, that is basically a different way to call it, where you combine um, resources, expertise, operations that maybe you have, but another company doesn't have, and maybe you use the skills from another company so that you can benefit from them. And when you do a partnership, they create a sort of entity with that is aligned with the same goal. Maybe you decrease cost of operation, decrease cost of expertise, of resources, of marketing, advertising. And also you don't fight each other, you help each other with what you have and what they don't have, right? So just a quick mention, but probably is not your case if you are on our channel, but just wanted to mention. Okay, bonus. We have the bonus softwares. Softwares is such a basic thing. You can think about, I mean, of course, you can delegate to softwares. First of all, we call it in this way because I like it to define softwares as a way to delegate instead of delegating to a person. Sometimes it's good to delegate to a software, but not necessarily is always important to delegate to a software. Sometimes delegation is good for entity one, sometimes to entity two, sometimes to entity four, sometimes to entity bonus seven softwares. It is always a delegation. This is a form of delegation. This is the definition that we use because we see that with small business owners, solopreneurs, and the self-employed people, this is the best approach in our opinion, right? With big companies, maybe they see softwares like operations innovation, a process innovation, right? We see for small business owners as a form of delegation. You can see in either way. Anyway, this is also part of delegate to yourself. So you have seen also in delegate to yourself, so entity zero, because these software are part of good process creation. Like sometimes softwares are the best choice. And so you can implement softwares when you delegate to have any entity. And yeah, is especially efficient with simple processes at scale. For now, because if the more artificial intelligence and the machine learning is improving, the more you will be able to delegate also complex processes at scale. Like ChatGPT is able to delegate complex processes like writing a book, for example, at scale. But is not efficient yet. For example, if it is a complex process, not at scale, like writing a book in a language that is not used often, like writing a book in Italian. For example, in that case, is not so good because there is no scale, right? So for now, if there is a simple process at scale, great. If it's a complex process at scale, maybe great too. If it's a simple process, not a scale, maybe could be good. If it's not a simple process and is not a scale, maybe softwares are not ideal. Also, if there is a flexibility involved. Anyway, it's cheaper with SaaS, and this is another thing that is arising recently. Software used to be very expensive because you had to create softwares, but now with SaaS, you can SaaS are basically outsourcing a software creation is outsourced software creation, so they have the scale to give to you a good price, right? So sometimes we use a SaaS. We don't create like a custom software for the company. We use a SaaS. Sometimes it's cheap, sometimes it's expensive. Depends on the situation. Softwares, if done correctly, minimize errors. And as I'm writing, machine learning and AI are improving the complexity of the processes. A lot of free softwares. Search in the web, of course, do a research with a VA or a specialist. Freemium solution, there is a lot of freemium solution for software. That's amazing because some solutions are free. You can use them and don't need to pay anything. I mean, this is you see often in the trainings around, of course. But I wanted to mention subscriptions can be cheap. The subscription can be also expensive sometimes, but they can also be cheap. I also see in that way, maybe you're paying $50 per month, but how much would that cost to you with a person? More or less? So it's not about how much is the subscription, it's about in your specific situation, how much is cheaper or not, how much is safer, etc. I want to mention Google Sheets because I think Google Sheets is amazing. Is so insanely good. We use it so much. It's so good that you can create so many formulas, automated processes. You can scrap information from the web. You can connect spreadsheets. You can create complex formulas. The sheet can update themselves automatically. You can connect them with other solutions to softwares. You can do bulk operations. I think if you don't use Google Sheets in your processes with formulas, automation, scraping, etc., you're basically not doing the basic. It's free. Why not doing it? There is also scripts that you can use. Is insanely good. There is so much to know. Probably I write it here. It's so much powerful than what you probably think. So Google Sheets, so many people are not aware of how much things they can do. If you want to know more about this, check on YouTube Google Sheet formulas, scripts, scraping formulas that are like a formulas. Check how many formulas there are, how many operations you can do, and you maybe buy a course about it. Maybe we will create a small course about it. There is so many, there is so much power in this. Okay, so this is summarize. As you can see, this is the 7 entities. You just need to decide based on your situation or the process that you are delegating or the people that you have in your company based on this situation. You need to decide what entity to use. Also about your goal. It's hard to understand if you are experienced. If you have no experience, yes. But if you have experience or you are like with an assistant like us helping you, we can help you exactly to tell you how to do it. We can tell you, give you the guideline, the strategy, and then you can implement by yourself. I suggest you, if you have a process that you don't know what to do, you can apply to work with us, and we will tell you exactly what what approach to take. There is the links below of the full video training. You can watch the full video training. In the future, maybe we'll put also some links to the direct qualification call. It's basically a call where we talk about what you need to do exactly, and in 10-15 minutes we define if we can work together or not. Anyway, go below if you want to know more and check the links that are there. Okay, so to wrap it up, define the processes, decide if you want to optimize before delegation with entity 0, delegation to yourself. Sometimes you want to optimize, sometimes you don't want to optimize because you're too busy and you're okay to delegate right away to other entities. If you want to optimize, there is the option in green that is delegating to entity 0, 1, 2, and 7. If you don't want to optimize, you can decide to delegate to the entity 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. More, you can get more informations. There is 2 options to learn a delegation with us. Free option, free. We like free. There is the free YouTube playlist in the link below. This video is from the playlist. There is a collection of so many tool tips, tricks that you can implement right away from our full framework. It's free. And you can watch and rewatch it. The link is below. Or if you want to go to the next step, there is the full framework training video. Is exclusive. You can find this full framework and macro process only in the training video. We are not publishing it in this playlist on YouTube. Is exclusive. You can watch it to learn the full process macro picture, A to Z. And you can either implement it by yourself, or if you think that this is what exactly you want to do and there is a benefit for you to do it fast, cheap, without wasting money, there is information in that video for the action to do afterward. Anyway, you can watch it and see our full coaching process for free. Links are below. Here, yeah, here you can see on the right our playlist on YouTube, as you can see. And then on the left, for example, here we have how to opt-in to download the PDF. The PDF is a 39 pages framework. You can download the PDF, you just need to put the email and your name, surname, and you can, basically there is 40 pages of our framework, 39 pages of our framework is so much value for free. Is a part of the book that actually we are selling on Amazon. So is people pay for it. So the slides are finished. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and check the full playlist in the description. Put a like and comment right now what you learned about these 7 entities. To what of the 7 entities are you currently delegating? What do you think is the next entity you can delegate to? Please check the free resources in the video description. If you're not watching already, this is a video from a full playlist. Please check the full playlist. It's free, it's so valuable. Make a comment below with some questions, what you want to learn about delegation, what you want the next video to be about. We really want to make content for you specifically that is useful. So write it down and we will make it sooner or later. Please do it right now. Don't waste time, take action so that you can grow your business, make money while you work less. I'm Pietro Mappers, so happy that you watched this video.